This is Shirakawa from Ohe Transport. Today I've come to visit Trubus in Sapporo. I'd like to hear about something different from the usual market. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's pretty echoey, isn't it? The sound really carries. That's just how this part of the place is. Trubus Co has now passed its 20th anniversary and is currently in its 20th year.
So, just out of curiosity, when exactly did Trubus start making horse-carrying vans?
Well,
it was the predecessor company.
Yes, that's right. Actually, that company has probably been in operation for approximately about 40 years, so to speak.
Back then, our company made a lot of different things.
It's quite different now. There are a lot of things we can't develop on our own, so we work together with our users, listening to their requests like, we want it this way or we want it that way. By accepting all these wishes, we've been able to create the latest model of horse-carrying vans. So it's not just us making it, we always approach it with the mindset that we're building each unit together with our users.
Each company, their requests, or rather their needs, are actually quite different.
Even though they may look quite similar on the outside, when it comes down to the finer details, each company is actually completely different. Personally, I feel that it's gradually becoming just a bit more difficult each year to fully accommodate all of those unique differences.
Besides the company, you're also involved in various activities like the Hirabone project and others, right?
Yes, we've also had the opportunity to work with people who are involved with trucks. Yes, we often work on things like crane trucks you see driving around town, as well as flatbed trucks, dump trucks, and tractor heads. We do things like virtual modifications on them. That's another main focus for us. And along with the company, it's one of the main pillars of our work in Japan right now.
Well, I think in both cases, you really need experienced professionals. There are quite a few people in the company who have been doing this for a long time, right?
Yes, there are still people who have been making these vehicles for 30 or even 40 years, maybe even 40 years now. And there are people who have been with us for 20 years as well. But honestly, right now we don't have any young workers. The older, more experienced craftsmen are the ones supporting us. So while we take good care of them, if we could bring in more young people, I think we could grow even further. Yes. Actually,
right now the most needed, or rather the position you'd most like to fill. Is there one?
Yes, what we really need now are young people who can inherit these skills going forward. And under them, those who are still, even if they don't know anything yet, if they're interested in this kind of work, I'd like to have them join us and, how should I put it, gradually get involved step by step. I want to create an environment where everyone can get passionate and feel fulfilled in their own way, but that's not so easy to achieve. It's difficult, isn't it?
That's right. Currently, how many people do you have in the office staff and on-site staff respectively?
Well, including all employees, we currently have 17 full-time staff members, 3 part-time employees, and then the executives. So in total, it's about 23 or 24 people.
You mentioned there are about 17 people on site, but is it correct to say that there are people who make the main frames, and then there are others who handle things like flat frames or other modifications? Are those roles clearly separated?
To some extent, the teams are already divided up. There's the steelworking team, the woodworking team that handles wood, the parts team that makes lots of small parts by bending steel plates, the press team, and then, broadly speaking, about 4 main groups, plus the painting team. Among those, there's also a team called the van assembly team. Altogether, including employees, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. There are 5 employees in charge of steelworking, and among them, there's 1 person for woodworking. Then there's 1 person for parts, so to build 1 van, roughly. Well, we operate with about 7 or 8 people. Among them, there are some who also work on regular cars next door. So in reality, that's how it's done. Yes, there are 5 people in charge of sheet metal work in the van team. Our
center
at the core, well,
Mr. Toraba, I think you often handle these kinds of special vehicles, but is there something like a particular strength or unique advantage that only Trubus has?
That's right. At our company, not just with vans, but also with regular trucks, since we operate in Hokkaido, our main focus is to make vehicles that are resistant to rust from the start. We strive to build vehicles that last a long time. And when it comes to vans, we've built up relationships with our users over the years. We have the technical expertise to know what improvements are best for each vehicle, and we apply that knowledge to every car we make. Our policy is to create vehicles that are rust resistant, easy to use, and just as our customers envision. I believe that's our strength. For our users, we try to make their dreams come true, one by one.
Yes, that's right. Certainly in Hokkaido, Torabasu is, well, As a Japanese-style company, it's been around for a long time, has a lot of history, and is well known. But even nationwide, things are changing, aren't they? The industry is shrinking, and new companies are popping up here and there. I wonder how many companies are actually involved in this.
If you're asking about all sizes, then as of last year, there were actually only a few companies nationwide in Japan making large vehicles.
As horse-carrying van manufacturers.
I think it's probably about 3 companies. Yeah.
With just those 3 companies, it's pretty tough to meet the nationwide demand for bus manufacturers. Right. I think there are definitely areas where they can't fully keep up. That's right. About how many units does each company produce per year, roughly?
In the past, about 5 years ago, maybe a little longer ago, I heard that we used to make about 20 units of the IO-type vans per year. But as of last year, from what I've heard, our company can make about 4 units a year. And in Tokyo, they can also make about 4 units a year. And with 2 more from other places, that makes 10 units. So I think that's about half of what it was 5 years ago. Absolutely.
Since it requires technical skills, 3 people may struggle to handle it.
That's probably true. There's also the aspect of being connected with the users, so if you have to start communicating from scratch again, I think it becomes difficult. That's why I feel it's getting harder for new entrants to break in. Well, currently,
as for Trubus, you mentioned that your annual production capacity is about 4 units, but if you increase the number of people, that capacity might go up a bit. In reality, how many more people would you like to add?
Right, well, as I mentioned earlier, if it takes 5 people to build 1 unit, then with 5 more people, we could produce twice as many units per year. That's what the numbers say, but in reality, to make that happen, we'd have to double the size of the factory and so on. So at this stage, I think the first thing we need to do is find another 5 people who can inherit the skills of the current 5. And on top of that, it's not just about design, there's also the sales side, like working with our customers. We also need at least 1 more person with enough knowledge to be able to participate in meetings like this.
That's right. Actually, the people who are currently building the 5 company, including Mr. Shimazaki, who also worked in sales, is there something in particular or a specific reason that makes them feel truly fulfilled or genuinely enjoy their work enough to keep doing it?
Well, I think the biggest reason, at least for me, is that I really like cars. Personally, I'm especially interested in special vehicles, like fire trucks, ambulances, and military vehicles. There are all kinds of vehicles, and I got into this line of work simply out of curiosity and because I enjoy them. For those who are interested, just having that curiosity, wondering how things work, is more than enough. Also, people who enjoy making things would be a great fit. For me as well, I used to love building things with Lego blocks or shaping things out of clay when I was younger. Really anything like that. If you enjoy those kinds of activities, even just a little, and when you see this car you think, if I put my hands to it, I could make something like that, then this is for you. Since we can only make 1 car every 3 months, the sense of accomplishment is incredible. So I think it's best suited for people who are aiming for that kind of feeling, yes.
So if there are people like that out there, if you feel even a little bit that this might be a good fit for you or see the potential, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us.
Thank you very much. Recently, or rather, in the previous video, Takano Transport was featured on YouTube, and I got really excited watching that. I was curious about how they build their trucks. I think Takano Transport also makes amazing vehicles, but this time we had the opportunity to build one ourselves. At first, we were asked to create something in this general shape as a starting point, and in our case, well, it's still okay for us because we can make changes, but to keep our employees motivated, it's actually smoother if the initial specifications are firmly set from the start. I think drivers probably have all sorts of ideas, but...
Yeah, that's true. And when you think about it that way, we really should have a solid final version ready beforehand. Right, so it's better to make requests after we put everything together. That's exactly it, President.
The president is actually the same age as me. Yes, that's right. We're both the same age, so we're working together as equals. So for the next topic, it feels like it's up to us to carry it forward. So I think it would be good if we could make this our main focus moving forward.
Thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule today.
Thank you as well, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you again for today.
Thank you for going out of your way to come to this rather old-fashioned place. Yes.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Is this the one?
Yes, it is.
The one that's off limits.
This is actually a top secret
Document.
but, well, it's the blueprint for making the ultimate parfait. You could say that. There's quite a lot in here. Yes, if you take a quick look inside, you'll see all sorts of detailed blueprints. Well, these belong,
Ohe Transport.
but we've got the president's approval to show them. Things like this are still being made the old-fashioned analog way, and I really wish we had people who could convert these into CAD or similar formats.
Right, this is, you know, the very first, the model as it was when it first arrived.
Yes, the one that was parked outside,
Nothing has been done to it yet.
right? This is a printout of the materials provided by Isuzu Motors for the market, and, well, this is Isuzu's genuine chassis. This drawing here shows how Isuzu, as the manufacturer, will modify it into something like a van chassis. This is the layout for the vehicle type intended for defense transport.
Especially for horse-carrying vans.
If we, together with Isuzu and Ohe, are going to create specifications, this is the kind of specification we would go with. There's this kind of base to start from. So when we have meetings, we'll say, this time we'll go with something like this. We prepare the materials and discuss how things will change like this. Then we actually start drawing up the blueprints. The person drawing these blueprints is about 73 years old now. When other draftsmen from the same company look at these drawings to exaggerate a bit, they say it's like artwork, like paintings in the world of blueprints, with depth and richness. It's drawn in such a way that you can easily tell what's in the background and what's in the foreground. If you look closely, yes, depending on the boldness of the lines or the way the dotted lines are drawn, you can instantly tell, just at a glance, that this rail is going downward. And you can also immediately see that this rail is coming upward. It's drawn in a way that makes that clear at first sight. If you attempt to do this particular task in CAD, it simply takes more time overall. But unless you do it in that specific way, you cannot send the necessary data to the subcontractor you are asking to handle this. At the moment, we are still using fax, which is somewhat outdated, but if we could send the data electronically, it would definitely be easier for them to process it efficiently on their end.
Right, exactly, absolutely.
This really applies to everyone, regardless of gender, anyone interested in CAD today. Yes, that's absolutely right.
Thank you.
Yes, this is highly confidential material, so I can't really show much of it.
Just a part of it, just a part.